Hey you guys, it's Steph and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all good. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a full face of makeup that I hate. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I try out makeup all the time. I have a lot of different opinions on a lot of different products, and I searched far and wide throughout my makeup collection, and I found some of the worst products I've tried out. Now, I feel like I'm quite fair when I review products, you know, just because, say, there's a matte foundation, you guys know I tend to prefer something that's a little more dewy. Just because it's a matte foundation doesn't mean I hate it, it just means it's not for me. But these products, oh, we do not get along. And so before we say our final goodbyes, I thought, why not just chuck it all on my face at the same time? And you know what? Let's just get into it. Wish me luck. So first of all, we have a primer. This is the Miss Sporty Insta Glow Primer. Now, I've used this before a few times and it's been fine, but more often than not, when I use this, it just balls up all of the foundation that I put on top of my skin. So it's quite like a pearly primer. It feels very lotiony. So you might be thinking, Steph, that just gives your skin a really nice glow, but as it dries, like just bits just come off like in pieces. Like it literally looks like my skin is shedding right now. Let me show you. Yep, so as you can see, you've got all of the particles there. I don't have any moisturizer on or anything like that underneath. So yeah, as soon as this stuff dries down, it just balls up like nothing else. So unless you want a flaky looking face, would not recommend this. Next we'll move on to everyone's favorite foundation. And by the way, if you guys like any of the products that I'm featuring in this video, then that's absolutely fine. It's just my personal preference. Nothing against you. If you like them, then that is great. But this foundation, I think a lot of us can agree that it's kind of sucks, let's be real here. So this is a Natural Collection color foundation. And this stuff is just like, it's just like glue almost. So I'm going to buff some of that on. It's super thick. And again, it doesn't look too bad to start off with. You might use it and think, you know what, this isn't going to be the best foundation I've ever used in my life, because I think it's like £2. So, you know, it's fair enough. It's not going to be the best. But when you have brands like Makeup Revolution and Primark that come out with foundations that are really, really good and they are under £5, it's like, you can do better. All right, let's see how we're going here. Oh yeah, looking good. You've got the primer balling up underneath. You've got it like, oh, it's looking really, really nice around my mouth. Oh yeah, and on those lips, let's go over the lips like we normally do. You can see it's really like congealed with that primer. That looks really good. Oh yeah. It's giving me creases under my eyes that I didn't even know I had. And I'm just using all of these products like I would with like any other product. Oh yeah, that looks great on the nose. Yeah, like look at that. That is stunning. Beautiful. Around here, around the lips. Yeah, really nice. That looks great. Now, as you can probably see, this foundation is a little bit too light for me, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more. I love coverage, so why the hell not? Can't really get any worse, I hear you say, but oh, it can. I'm going to be using the Nip and Fab darkening mixer things. I have the lightening one, and the lightening one is fine. This darkening one, however, though, I mean, unless your skin is like naturally grey, probably wouldn't say it's the best. But of course, we're just gonna use a little bit of that. Oh, now that's just a little bit too dark, isn't it? So we might have to add a little bit more. Let's just add more of this slop. Cool. Mix that in on the back of my hand. Yeah, a really, really nice tone of grey still. Okay, just gives you like a really, really nice grey undertone, which is really what I'm looking for in a foundation. Oh, I'm liking like the bruised effect we've got going on here. And then obviously, and as you can see, as we just buff that into the skin, it just starts to break up the foundation, which again, it looks really, really nice and natural. I mean, as a foundation, that could very well work. But when it says that it's a darkening mixer, if you get a foundation and you plan on darkening it, do not reach for these because it will make your foundation grey. Next, we'll move on to concealer. So I have two different ones to share with you guys today. The first one is one that I've had a few comments from you guys about, is the L'Oreal Perfect, or is it the Perfect Match or is it the True Match? I think it's the True Match one, but this is the liquid True Match concealer, and I used this before and it looked pretty nice. It goes on quite smoothly. It's a decent enough colour, a little bit too light for me right now, but it's fine. So this, you just buff it into your under eyes or over any blemishes or whatever. And you know what? It does apply quite nicely. It blends out quite nicely. Even over that foundation, it ain't looking too bad. It's definitely not the most full coverage, so generally it's not something that I would really reach for. But what you've got to do with this, and this is where it gets really good, you usually wait, I don't know, maybe like a minute or two. And after a while, I can already start to feel it, but this will start to sting your under eyes. And I'm not the only one that's experienced this. I've had probably at least like somewhere between like 5 to 10 of you guys messaging me asking if I've had similar experiences. And yeah, this will start to kind of tingle your under eyes, slight bit of burning, not painful, but slight little stinging. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world. Let's just add a little bit more for some coverage. Why not? Obviously, it may not sting for every single one of you, but another thing that I have noticed, which hopefully we'll see in a second, is that by the time you powder this down, any coverage it has just completely disappears. Oh, yeah, really starting to feel the burn right about now. I'm not sure about you guys. I know they say that beauty is pain and all that, and I mean, you're talking to a girl that gets fillers every few months. If a concealer is going to make my under eye sting, then I don't care how good it is. I'm going to have to give this one a thumbs down. What is going on with my hair? So next we have a concealer that I think I tried out a few years ago and I have not used it since, and there is a very good reason for that. And that is because this is pretty much just like a shimmery concealer. You blend it out and it just looks shimmery. So this is the amazing concealer Illuminate. Now I got this and I thought, ooh, an illuminating concealer. That sounds right up my street. I put it under my eyes. I thought, yeah, that'll brighten everything up. But this stuff just adds some straight up shimmer to your face. I mean, on the cheekbones, this would probably look quite nice because it does have a sheen to it. Wow, my under eyes are really stinging right now. However, when something says concealer, I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to want to cover up under eyes or do a little bit of highlighting with this, like in the center of my forehead or something. But right about now, I just look oily. So is it the worst product in the world? No. If you used it on your cheekbones, then it would probably actually look quite nice, especially if you had, I don't know, a little bit of pigmentation or something on your cheekbones. But if you're going to pick this up thinking it's going to be a good concealer, then unless you like the oil slick look, I'd probably give it a miss. Next, we'll move on to something that I actually quite liked when I first used it. It's one of the Fenty Beauty Match Sticks, contour sticks. This one is in the shade Mocha. Now, these are expensive, and I noticed in my first impressions video of this that it was a little bit patchy, but it did work eventually. But since using it again and again since then, I have just noticed that it is just really quite patchy. And out of all of my other cream contour sticks, both high end and low end, this is just one that I never ever reach for. I mean, let's face it, this poor contour stick didn't even stand a bloody chance with that foundation. Next, we'll move on to powder. So I actually have 2 powders, and one of them I don't hate. I'm going to put it out there, I don't hate it, but I do hate it for one certain thing, and that is baking. So the product that I hate for baking that I'm obviously going to use for baking today is the Rimmel Match Perfection. It looks like this. And I've heard so many of you guys tell me that you really, really like this for baking, but I just cannot get on board with it. As a powder in general, I quite like it. It is quite matte, so not my favorite, but as a powder, absolutely fine. I do not hate this product as a whole, but I hate it for baking. So that's what I'm going to use it for today. So I'm going to take the puff that it comes with. Oh, I went completely on my nose then, but that's fine. See, to me, this stuff just feels like pure concrete under my eyes. So as I'm sure a lot of you know, I don't tend to leave my bake on for too long, so I'm not going to be too unfair with this, and I'm going to dust this off now. So let's just take a big brush. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get this for baking. It just kind of like eats everything up. Like, can you see that? Yeah, I just don't get it for baking. I think if you like this powder, then apply it all over your face. And obviously if you like it for baking, then go ahead and bake with it. But for me, I really don't get it. I just feel like it takes away any kind of moisture under my eyes and just makes me look way older than I actually am. And as you might be able to see as well, like I said, the L'Oreal concealer has pretty much completely disappeared from under my under eyes. You powder this stuff down and it just disappears. So then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use this powder from Antipodes. This is the Performance Plus Skin Brightening Mineral Finishing Powder in Translucent. But this stuff is glittery. Which, I mean, it's not what I want all over my face, but it's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to take a little bit of that in my lid. Like, I imagine if you apply this to, like, again, certain parts of your face, like the high points of your face or something, it's not going to look too noticeable. But I mean, especially if you go under your eyes with this, because obviously it says it is a brightening translucent powder, you think, okay, maybe I'll go under my eyes with it. Don't bother, because it will just look so shiny. I mean, on camera, it's actually smoothed out my skin quite a lot, and thank God. I'm not denying that this could be a nice powder. I'm just saying that the shimmer in it is just a big fat no for me, because I can just see shimmery particles bouncing off my cheek here. I don't know if you guys can see that. That bit there is just super shimmery. Next, I'll move on to another product that I haven't used since I first tried it in a testing video, and that is the e.l.f. contouring palette. I know some of you do like this, but I just really cannot get on board with it. So what I'm going to do is just take this little brush here and go in with the Cool Tone contouring powder. And to my knowledge, I just remember this being super patchy and grey looking. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of hate comments about how that's not how you apply contour, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I try out new products pretty much every day. I try out a new contouring powder maybe once or twice a week at least. And other contour powders just don't look that great to me. I just don't get it. So then I'll just take some of this bronzer as well. And I don't think I had too many problems with this bronzer. I think, again, it was just maybe a little bit too cool tone for me. And when you put this bronzer with that contouring powder, I think I said this in my e.l.f. video actually, it just makes me look a bit bruised in all honesty. I'm then going to go in with what is, without a doubt, the worst highlighter I have ever used. And yes, as you can see, it is a JEFFREE Star highlighter. This is the Skin Frost in the shade Crystal Ball. I got this sent to me in PR when it first came out, and I was actually really excited about trying this formula because I'd heard so many things about his highlighters. And granted, I have tried them since then. I have the 24 karat palette or something, and those highlighters are insane. Whether you like the guy or not, his highlighters are insane, but this one was insanely bad. So like I said, this is Crystal Ball, and this is literally like the chunkiest. Like, it looks pretty pigmented, I'll give it that, but if you just like swatch it, it's just so chunky. So what I'm gonna do is apply that to the tops of my cheeks. It does actually pack quite a punch when you apply it. I mean, you can see that is a pretty intense highlight, but it's the way that it sits on the skin that I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Next, I'll move on to blush. So this is from MAC, and it is their Gentle Mineralized Blush. I got this because I heard so many beauty gurus talking about it once upon a time. And again, I used it once and I was like, what the hell is this? It's just so freaking shimmery. And it's also just so insanely pigmented that you just end up looking like a clown as soon as you apply it. So if I just pop some of that there, it could in theory be a really pretty color. And I'm sure on some lighter skin tones or something, this looks amazing. But for me, the fact that it's just shimmery as well, like if I just kind of like tilt my head to the light, you can see it picks up everything. And it's just far too shimmery for a blush in my opinion. It applies fine, it's absolutely fine, just like a lot of the MAC formulas. The product itself is fine. It's just the kind of like color combination mixed with the amount of shimmer that you get in this, because it is just insanely shimmery, as you might be able to see. I just don't get it, and I feel like whenever I wear it, I just look like a freaking clown. Oh my god, I thought I had a bogey then, but nope, it's just a little bit of foundation flaking off around my nose. I'm just gonna leave that there. Next, it's time to sort out these bad boys. So this is probably one of my most recent discoveries that I hate, and I actually loved everything in that video, literally everything apart from this one product. From Colourpop, this is the black and brown brow colour. It really doesn't look that bad at all, and the product itself is nice enough. But when I put this on last time, it made my eyebrows look purple. So let's see if it does that again. Just pop that on my arch. I mean, it's definitely something if you can make work, and obviously if it's your perfect colour, then that's great. But I'm usually like a fairly dark brown person in the brow department, but this just looks very kind of like purpley to me. Brows on. So for eyes, I have another recent discovery. This is from CYO, and it's one of their eyeshadow palettes. This is the eyeshadow palette Rainbow Warrior in the shade Showdown. And you might be thinking, Steph, that doesn't look too bad. What could be so bad about this? And it's because all of these colors come out the exact same. Every single one, when I blended it out, they all looked like this little color here. It wasn't even that the formula was bad. The formula was fine. It's just that literally every single color I used, even from like this blue to this more like burgundy shade, they all came out kind of like a greeny gray. So So let's put it on our face. So I'm just going to powder down my lid just with the cream shade, which thankfully does come out more creamy looking. Then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go in with this kind of greeny khaki shade. It's like a greeny grey almost. These shadows aren't the most pigmented thing in the world, but they are fine. You can build them up. I'm going to be as fair as I can with this, and I'm going to take a completely clean brush and I'm going to go in. Let's just go in with the bluey colours today. I'll just pop that on the outer corner. So I'm just going to blend all of that out. As you can see, it is more of a cool tone blue. However, for example, when we take, let's just say this purple, I'll just take that on a flat brush, pick up some of that, and pop that on the lid. Go back in with that transition shade. Go back in with our fluffy brush just to kind of like blend out the edges. And I don't know what happens, but now it just looks grey again. So because we're just going for like the grey look today, apparently, that's pretty much all you can do with this palette. I'm going to take that grey and run it under my eyes. All right, so one eye is done. I'm now going to go off camera and do this guy, and I will check back with you guys in a second. Eyes are done, baby. How do I look? So now we'll move on to mascara, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't actually remember why I disliked this, but I had it in my hate it's pile for literally months now, so apparently I did not like this. This is the e.l.f., I think it's just the e.l.f. black mascara. It's got a plastic wand. I'm actually very interested in why I said I didn't like this. Okay, it's kind of doing nothing straight off the bat. And again, like, I always say this when I'm like not really enjoying a mascara, that my lashes work well with mascara. That's why I don't really have any other mascara that I don't really dislike, because most mascaras, I've got long lashes anyway, they're fairly curled, my lashes kind of do what they're told, so a lot of mascaras do work on me, even if they're not amazing. This is just kind of like really like below average. Then last but not least, and I'm so happy that I kept this just for this video, this is the H&M Velvet Lip Cream in the shade Nudista. I was so excited for this. And then I think in my H&M testing video, I tried this, and within just a few minutes, my lips resembled a crusty asshole. So let's see if we can recreate that look again today. So as you can see, just from the get-go, it is super pale, which doesn't really bother me because I would normally use like a lip liner with this or something and just blend it in. I mean, on its own, it is pale. And what I'm going to do, again, just to be fair, I'm not going to talk too much because that could be seen as cheating. I'm going to leave it like this for a second. Not going to put my lips together or anything. Just going to leave it like this. Stunning. And I'll see you when it dries up. Can't close my lips, so see you in a sec. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, and yeah, exactly as I expected. Just look at that inner rim. Like, you put your lips together, you like talk, any kind of saliva that sort of gets like around your lips, it just instantly takes it off, gets super crusty straight away. I mean, it feels comfortable enough. It doesn't really feel like that much on my lips, which I guess is like 1+, like half a point. But like the more you're talking, and if you like rub your lips together at all, it just like, it just completes the look. So you guys, this is the finished look, and I think it's safe to say that this is quite possibly the best look I have ever done here on my channel. Like I said at the start, this video is just a little bit of fun. If you like the products that I featured today, then that is good. I'm glad you like the products, but for me, they are a big fat no. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, then please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more of me, because I upload all the damn time. Also, if you do want to see more kind of like silly challenge style videos, then let me know in the comment section down below, because I can definitely do more. But apart from that, that's it from me. I love you guys. I'm now going to go and scrub the crap out of my face, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.